Most of you might have heard about some or the other historical aspects, and let's try to understand briefly. Okay, I hope this screen is visible to you. Um, let's discuss something about the birth of football. When we talk about the birth of modern football, with the football which you see, there are across the world there are a lot of nations which claim that they have some or the other sport very much similar to football. China has its own claim, even FIFA have recognized that, Greece as well as Rome. But the modern football, when we talk about, when I'm again mentioning that, highlighting the term modern football, it is 1863 when English Football Association was formed. I'm not talking about FIFA. No, FIFA formed in 1904. Before the International Federation, English Football Association was formed, was born in 1863. And that 1863 is always known as the birth of the modern football. But that doesn't mean that football started from 1863. No. Before, even in fact, 2000 years before, there are a lot of evidences which says that sport very much similar to football was played and enjoyed at different parts of the world. China, Greece, Rome have claimed, and world has accepted it, and literatures are available of on it. Let's try to understand one by one. If we talk about the China, in China, it it was known as Shuju. In some literature, it's mentioned as Tasuchu also. But officially, in official literature, it says that 2,500 years ago in China, a game similar to football was played, which was known as Shuju. Shuju, very much similar to the modern football, where shu means to kick and ju means the leather ball, the ball filled with feathers. So kicking a ball is shu ju, wherein shu means to kick and ju is the ball. Kick the ball. This game was played 2,500 years before by the emperors, by the emperors and the members of the Chinese empire. And that game, this Shuju, is officially recognized by FIFA, and they have officially mentioned it on their website too. And in this game, the similarity was players were allowed to play with all their body parts excluding the hands, and they were supposed to kick the ball through a opening into a net. So this was a very similar game to the modern day football. But along with the China, even the Greece, a similar game called as Piscros was played in Greece. And most of you may, for most of you, it may be uh, information that in the European Cup, which you see on the television screens, one image is there wherein a Greek, a Greek person is standing with a ball balancing on his thighs. That picture actually was excavated from a Greek marble. It was excavated from Greece, wherein on a marble, this picture of a Greek person balancing a ball on his thighs was re received. And this had a clear reflection that a game, a sport similar to modern day football called as Episkrios was played even 2000 years back. And this marble stone in which the picture has been depicted has is in the archaeological museum in Greece. Even today they have kept it. The historical records say that such a game called Episkrios in Greece, which is very much similar to the modern day football, was played primarily by the men, but yes, sometimes it was played by the women also, in which in which the ball was made up of linen, which was hair wrapped with strings sewn together. And but this ball didn't bounce much. So later on, the pig bladder was used, and the pig bladder was covered with leather to make it more bouncing ball. So this was how the reflection of a game very much similar to the modern day football was recorded in the Greek history, which was called as Episkrios. But it's not only the China Shuju or the Greece Epicurios, even in Rome. Even in Rome, there was a record of a similar game which was played to the modern day football, which was called as Harpastmen. In this, the Harpastmen, the ball was a small ball, but a hard small ball played by 5 to 12 players in a rectangular field. And the purpose of the ball was to keep the ball in their own half as long as they can. Very much reverse to the modern day football, where the purpose is to cross the ball to the other's half and send into the net of the opponent. In this, the purpose was to keep the ball in their own half. But similarly, there was a similarity to modern day football, surely. And um, only the player with the ball could be tackled. You could not tackle to any other player very like it is done in rugby. The important thing is that in Rome, this game was very popular and this game was promoted, especially with the soldiers, because the Julius Caesar, emperor during that time, used this sport to maintain the physical fitness of the soldiers. So this game was highly promoted by the Romans to keep themselves fit. Yeah. So again, this was one of the reflections. So you could see how the similar game, form of game which is similar to the modern day football, was played 2,500 years back at China, and how it was a similar game was played 2,000 years back at Greece, which was known as Epicurios, and how the game was similar game was played by which was promoted by Julius Caesar, the Roman emperor, to keep his soldiers fit, known as Harpastum. And not only the China, the Greece, the Rome, even the modern day football gets lot of credit. Rather, most of the credit of the modern day football goes to the mob football played by the British. The mob football was very interesting because in this mob football, what used to happen is that in the especially during the 7th and the 19th century, a violent game was played between the villagers, wherein a ball was a single ball. With a single ball, two teams of villagers competed against each other to send the ball to the opponent village square. And when I say that, it may sound simple, but this game was a violent game. Just imagine the whole large members of the village coming up to tackle one ball and send that ball across to the other village. Surely, what a riot could have happened during the game. And yes, the riots happened, and it was so violent, the game became so violent. There are various instances on record, especially by the King Edward II, King Edward III, and Richard II, Henry IV, Henry VI, James III. They have banned this sport from being played in England, especially between 7th and the 9th century. There have been lot of accidents during this violent game. between the villages. And because of this violent nature of the game, this game had to be banned by being promoted or by being played. But still, after some time, the ban was removed. Such was the popularity of the game, such was the need of the village. There were a lot of accidents, but still villagers wanted to have it because it is just because of the popularity. And now, when a sport like this is so popular, but it becomes violent in a way that it becomes a problem for any administrator, that violence cannot be promoted like this. So what happened is that here you will see the birth of modern football, which is a football played with various laws and rules. That is why um, laws. Most of the sport you will find rules, but in football you will find a term called laws of football, because these laws were made during the 19th century, especially somewhere 1863 when English FA was formed. They created a lot of laws, but before that also laws were initiated with, so that this violence is reduced, so that accidents can be reduced, so that the enjoyment and the fun element of the football remains there, minus the violence. So there was a need that laws need to be created. So before moving further, this was about the ancient development of the football game. Let's try to understand. Let's try to see a small video which may give us a good idea about mm, the all the aspect which we just discussed. Let's start with the. I'll have two videos. Listen carefully. Okay, listen carefully, and surely you will like to answer a few questions after seeing this video.
Football, in its current form, arose in England in the middle of 19th century. But alternative versions of the game existed much earlier and are a part of the football history. The game dates back to the Mesoamerican culture played with a rock around 3000 years ago, followed with Kuzoo, where a ball was used for kicking in China. Various forms of the game were played in various countries, but the present form of the game developed in England in the 12th century. In this century, games that resembled football were played on meadows and roads in England. Besides from kicks, the game involved also punches of the ball with the fist. This early form of football was also much rougher and more violent than the modern way of playing. An important feature of the forerunners to football was that the games involved plenty of people and took place over large areas in towns. An equivalent was played in Florence from the 16th century, where it was called calcio. The rampage of these games would cause damage to the town and even death. These would be among the reasons for the proclamations against the game that finally was forbidden for several centuries. It took, however, long time until the features of today's football had been taken into practice. For a long time, there was no clear distinction between football and rugby. There were also many variations concerning the size of the ball, the number of players, and the length of a match. A game was often played in schools, and two of the predominant schools were Rugby and Eton. At Rugby, the rules included the possibility to take up the ball with the hands, and the game we today know as rugby has its origin from here. At Eton, on the other hand, the ball was played exclusively with the feet, and this game can be seen as a close predecessor of the modern football. The game in rugby was called the running game, while the game in Eton was called the dribbling game. Proper rules for the game were decided at a meeting in Cambridge in 1848. The first football association was formed in 1863. This also led to a standardization of a size and weight of the ball, and also divided the game into two codes: association football and rugby. The game would continue to develop for a long time, and there was still much flexibility concerning the rules. For one thing, the number of players on the pitch could vary. Neither was uniform used to distinguish the appearance of the teams. It was also common with players wearing caps. The header was yet to be a part of the game. Another important difference at this stage could be noticed between English and Scottish teams. Whereas the English teams preferred to run forward with the ball in a more rugby fashion, the Scottish chose to pass the ball between their players. It could be the Scottish approach that soon became predominant. The sport was at first an entertainment for the British working class. Unprecedented number of spectators, up to 30,000, could be seen in some of the matches in the late 19th century. The game was soon expanded by British people that travelled to other parts of the world, especially in South America and India. The interest in football became big. Football clubs have existed since the 15th century, but unorganized and without official status. It is therefore hard to decide when the first football club started. Some historians suggest that it was the football club formed in 1824 in Edinburgh. Earlier, clubs were often formed by former school students, and the first of this kind was formed in Sheffield in 1855. The oldest among professional football clubs is the English club. Notts County was formed in 1862 and still exists today. An important step for the emergence of teams was the industrialization that led to larger groups of people meeting at places such as factories, pubs, and churches. In bigger cities, football teams were established, and the new railroads could bring them to other cities. In the beginning, football was dominant by public school teams, but later, teams consisting of workers made up the majority of those. Another change was successively taking place when some clubs became willing to pay the best players to join their team. This was the start of professional football. Slowly, tickets for the games were sold. Initially, the game was restricted to England, but over a period of time, it moved to other countries too. The Federation Internationale de Football Association was founded in 1904, and a Foundation Act was signed by representatives from France, Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. England and other British countries did not join FIFA from the start. They had invented the game and saw no reason to subordinate to an association. Still, they joined in the following year, but would not partake in the World Cup until 1950. Domestic leagues took root early, and very soon they started thriving. Initially, there were no black players, but soon they too joined. Football became a part of the Olympics, and also the FIFA World Cup had its origin. These have created great enthusiasm in the spectators. The Americans had their own version of football, and hence they have a distinction between football and soccer. Today, the latest addition to the game of football is futsal, as it is called. This game is slowly gaining in popularity, but can be no match as yet to the original game of football.
That was the brief introduction about the historical aspect. There were a lot of aspects which we have already discussed. Yeah, and I think you liked it and you had a good information. And before moving, take you to another small video wherein you will try to see what soccer is and what football is. Okay, it's a very small, a short video, but it's an interesting video. and you will really like to understand, because this is the question which may come to you as a teacher when you join any school or any organization where students like to understand, because they hear both the word. When they google, when you even google out, you will also find the two terms, soccer as well as football. So most of us get confused that is it the same, is it different? If it is different, then what is the different? And if it is same, then why are they known by different names, isn't it? So that this question has a lot of relevance to it.
But a handful of countries, most notably the US, prefer the term soccer. But where did the word even come from? The name actually came from England and is nearly as old as the rules of the sport themselves. The earliest evidence of football comes from China in the 3rd century BCE, a sport that they called kuju. Over the ages, many types of football spread throughout the world, eventually finding their place in England. It became especially popular with aristocratic English schoolboys, who decided that it was time to finally define the rules of the game. On October the 26th, 1863, the leaders of a dozen English football clubs met at the Freemasons Tavern in London to create a rulebook, and in doing so, formed the Football Association. However, there were still other versions of the game around, and a new group wrote a different rulebook in 1871, one that allowed you to use your hands. This new form of football was known as rugby football, named after the Rugby School in England. The original rules, made by the Football Association, were then called association football. Both of these names were a mouthful, so rugby football became rugger and association football became soccer. These two new official sports began spreading throughout the world, one more so than the other. By the time it found its way to the United States, they already had a sport called football, also known as gridiron football or American football. So the US and others in similar situations stick to soccer, while the rest of the world still tends to prefer football to refer to the beautiful game.
So I think this gives us a very good information. This gives us a very good knowledge about why the term soccer is used, and why in some part of the world, or whenever you search Google, why the term football comes up. Yeah. So in short, the answer is very simple, that in US, whenever you go through the document of US, even the website, whenever you go through an American literature, you will always get to refer the term called as soccer. And whereas whenever you refer an non-US, especially the European material regarding football, even the YouTube videos, even the documents, you'll always find the reference of the term football. So in India, because it was the dominance of the British, not the American, so the term football is always used popularly, and soccer is of the least minimal usage. Okay, and why soccer is a term used in US, you could easily understand, because um, 1863 in 1863, when Football Association was formed, they created rules, that a common rules, in which they say that okay, this will be a sport which will be played with leg only, the feet only, no hands will be used. But whereas on the contrary, there were a lot of football being played within the England English, where they were using the hands also. So 1863, when Football Association was formed, after 8 years, that is 1871, you will find the origin, the starting, the beginning of rugby also. So rugby union, the federation, the rugby federation deviated from the Football Association, the English FA, and they created their own association, the Rugby Association, 8 years later in 1871. So if you go to the history aspect of rugby and football, so this is the variation which you find, that in 1863, Football Association was formed. So they made their rules that it will be played with the leg. and it is called, even today it is known, popularly known as association football. Yeah, and the members who did not support the association football created their own association with the name a rugby association 8 years later in 1871, and that game was known as rugby, in which hands were also used. So the game called as football again got popularized across the world, and surely India, because I'll be coming to the Indian history and you will really love to understand that Indian history of football is not new. It's very much as old as English